A young business genius in a suit waltzing into the CEO's office to spread some words of wisdom. An insecure 35-year-old stumbling into a boardroom playing bullshit bingo with the latest business buzzwords. Alright, so what is it now? Are McKinsey partners business geniuses, or are they just well-trained business bullshitters? Let's get right into it. So before we start, let's briefly discuss how someone can become a partner at McKinsey, BCG and Bain. So you might think it takes someone until their mid-50s to climb to the pinnacle of the business world. But actually, consulting allows you to climb the ladder much faster if you have what it takes. You can make it to partner in 10 years or less after joining the consulting firm as a fresh graduate. And if everything aligns perfectly, 7 years is doable too. So you might be a partner at 30 years old and be the equal of, an advisor to, veteran CEOs. And if in the first 1 or 2 years as a junior consultant, they dabbled around in other industries before focusing on one, a fresh partner might only have 5 years of experience in their specific industry. Which really doesn't sound like a lot. And that's what raises the question of this video: genius or bullshitter? So let's start with the arguments in favor of the partner being a genius in a suit. First, MBB partners know the future. They know the latest industry trends and the best practices at the leading firms. That's at least what they will tell you. But do they really know all that? They have of course not experienced everything themselves, but there's a huge network of experts and researchers in the back office, but also other partners, say from another country, that will share relevant knowledge and insights. So maybe you want to know how Gen AI could be used in the logistics industry by tomorrow. Well, if you're an MBB partner, you'll just text your researcher or put an associate on that task and they will dig into it, make calls to experts around the globe and give you an answer ASAP. So do they really know everything that's going on off the cuff? Definitely not. But especially in strategy engagements, it's often more valuable to know a lot of trends and best practices on a high level as opposed to being super deep into one of the operational topics. So if you don't dig too deep, the partners will know a lot, partially fueled by the researchers and experts in the back office and other partners at the firm. Second, MBB partners have seen many corporate initiatives and transformations. Even though a first-year partner might only have 4 years of experience in one dedicated industry or function, he'll work on 3 to 6 projects at the same time. So it's possible that this first-year partner has worked on a similar issue in the specific industry already over 40 times at, let's say, 8 different companies. Of course, these companies cannot be direct competitors, as this would be a compliance issue, but if you have a client base across the globe, this is possible. And we personally know people who have such a client portfolio. In contrast, an executive at a client might have done a sales transformation twice in his career. A relatively inexperienced MBB partner might have already done it 10 plus times. And this project experience on a specific topic is basically where the value add is coming from. Third, MBB partners bring cross-industry insights. If a consumer goods CEO is interested in how they can implement embedded finance solutions, an MBB partner can bring in a banking expert to talk about embedded finance on the next day. The consumer goods partner might also hop on a quick call with his partner buddy in banking and get a quick download on the topic, or some CXO documents. This allows the consumer goods partner to brush up on his knowledge on the topic and share insights with the CEO right away. Of course, if you dig deep, you might notice that it's only high-level knowledge, but it is enough to give a first overview on the topic and the key success factors. This access to other knowledgeable partners at MBB firms is what allows partners to be perceived more competent in novel topics than they really are, especially by bringing in cross-industry insights. Fourth, MBB partners are project powerhouses. As mentioned, they're doing 3 to 6 projects in parallel, so it could be that they're completing 25 projects per year. They'll notice right away if a project goes south and they will jump in, making sure that it's a success in the end. Client executives know that, and likely no one at the client will have project experience quite at the same level, and that's why they're paying the high fees. Next, MBB partners have an absolute force of operational resources on the ground. You guessed it. We mean the project manager and consultants working 70 plus hours per week on making the project a success. The MBB firms only hire the smartest and most ambitious students, and they go through a rigorous evaluation process on an ongoing basis. So you can be sure that everyone on the project is motivated to go the extra mile for the client. This is a huge asset for a partner. That's also why partners spend a lot of time on building up their followership so that they can have a broad range of top performing consultants available once a new project kicks off. Now don't get us wrong, there are also ambitious employees at the client, but it's simply not the case that everyone in the project on the client side is willing to work day and night for months. That's also why client CEOs often gravitate towards the consulting teams, including more junior team members. No one in their organization allows them to bounce ideas off each other in such a fast-paced manner, produce insights quickly, drive the right analyses, and move the needle in their thinking. Aside from the project team, MBB partners have a huge support network in the background. We already touched upon the experts and researchers across the globe, but besides that there are also visual graphics experts beautifying slides, artists working on high-end visualizations for keynote presentations, UX designers working on customer journeys, data scientists available to implement machine learning solutions at clients that are not that tech-savvy, and the list goes on. This network allows partners to deliver fast-paced projects on a wide range of topics, a capability highly valued by clients. And last but not least, partners are great storytellers.
Oh, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy.
No, not that type of story. MBB partners are great at crafting compelling storylines. They know how to structure a presentation so that it delivers the message while being consistent throughout. Client executives love that, thought through high-end presentations that they can use to tell their story within the organization. Of course, storytelling is no secret craft that only the mythical MBB partner can master. But like we already said, a partner with 20 or 30 projects a year just has a lot of experience on that front. They know right away if a storyline works and which storyline won't fly because it's illogical or not really backed up by the project results. And in case you're wondering, partners and more senior consultants are always thinking in slides. Often at projects you start with a day one hypothesis and partners already have a rough storyline for the final document plan. And then it's just a question of executing the project and see if there are changes necessary along the way. Alright, so those are some of the really strong assets, and the combination of that allows a 35-year-old MBB partner appear like a business genius. But now let's turn to the dark side of an MBB partner.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
First, MBB partners won't know every detail. They have a huge support network in the company, but they themselves will only have a truly deep expertise in a narrow set of topics. For many things, their knowledge is rather shallow and supported by the back office team. But if they are caught by an executive and put on the spot, it doesn't mean they crumble. They can usually talk their way out of it. I mean, that's one thing you learn pretty quickly as a consultant from the very first day onwards. You want to be perceived as competent, even if you aren't on a certain topic. And then you fill in the gaps quickly after the meeting. You want to give the clients the feeling that they're in good hands and that they're getting their money's worth. Which they usually do, but you don't even want any doubt to creep in. So you develop strategies to sound insightful even if you don't have much to say. Partners who don't know the details might talk about industry best practice and what they've seen at other companies at a very high level. Many times without too much info to actually back it up, but just enough so they appear competent. And when it comes to that, partners are indeed great bullshitters. Second, MBB partners often try to please the executives. They know before a project started what the agenda of the executive is. If an executive wants to cut jobs, the MBB partner will support the decision and also act as a scapegoat once the move is announced to the company and the public. This comes as a service of the consulting firm. The client pays a very high fee for a project, and with that comes the benefit of using the consulting firms as a scapegoat. If a CEO announced a job cut, he'll say, well, we brought in McKinsey to evaluate the situation and they suggested that we need to cut 10% of our back office staff and automate processes. Of course, the CEO is not an idiot. He knew that they would need to cut jobs, but why risk your own reputation if you can blame it on someone else? And if the executive that is paying your fees is suggesting some ridiculous idea? Well, if it's truly ridiculous, the MBB partner will carefully try and convince him that it's a bad idea. But if it's only a semi-bad idea, well, why bite the hand that feeds you? So in that sense, the MBB partner is an executive pleaser. Third, new partners have often less knowledge than one would expect. We already touched upon this, but especially if a project is not within the core area of the expertise of a young partner, it could be that he's more clueless than, for example, the project manager. Of course, facing a client, no one would ever admit that. But a senior client meeting that is led by the project manager with the partner hardly ever adding any points is usually a telltale sign that the partner is not really in his comfort zone. But again, if you have a strong team to rely on, it's not an issue. The partner will add value in some other way or in another stage of the project. So what are partners now? Geniuses or bullshitters? Well, as so often in life, it's not black and white. Partners are in general very smart and ambitious people that pick up new information very quickly. That allows them to amass vast knowledge in a specific industry or even across industry. Combine that with the fact that their entire career consists of fast-paced, complex strategy projects or transformations, and you have a person that is actually a valuable advisor. even to seasoned industry executives. But they are not geniuses, at least most of them. They are supported by an excellent support network that allows them to shine and seem more knowledgeable in many situations. And are they bullshitters? Well, yes.
Don't bullshit me.
They have the skill to talk themselves out of uncomfortable situations. So, now it's your turn. Do you know a partner in consulting? And what did you think about them? Genius or bullshitter? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and activate the bell for more content like this. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions or if there's a topic you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you in the next one.